Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Gaming Quitte, the most delicious Quitte of them all, and today we're going to take a look at which units you might be able to use in the upcoming Jaldabaoth Dominion fight. I am going to assume that Jaldabaoth will throw Curse of Nihility at us, so we're going to take a look at which of the current units in the game will probably be useful. Take everything with a grain of salt, because since the fight isn't out yet, we can't be 100% sure about all of this, but I wanted to at least theorize a little bit. If there's no nihility, like in the Mighty Zephyr fight, well, double buffs, let's go. The Jaldabaoth fight will have you use flame units on standard and expert, and will switch to water element in the second phase in masters, which means you also gotta prep your wind units for the fight. In this video, I will just talk about fire units though, otherwise it would get too long. I will make a separate video on wind units soon enough. The first two characters I want to talk about are Flame Manacasters, Ferris and Gala Leonidas. Both will probably be really good in the upcoming fight. Gala Leonidas' Draconian Grace is immune to nihility, so he can just buff himself up without any problems. His dragon form can, thanks to the Holy Wyrmprint, be pretty strong. Keep in mind though that Wyrmprints with Dragon Scale or Dragon Claw abilities won't work, because those buffs get killed by nihility. With Ferris, I'd say you actually have a very good unit on your hands to play around while learning the fight, thanks to his counter mechanics. If you see a red marker, just hold down the force strike and counter the attack, or use his auto dodges that he has on his second skill. Both units also inflict Scorch Rend, and we can see in the Lilith fight that afflictions are back in action with these fights. If you played the game way back during the Monster Hunter event and you grabbed yourself a Hunter Berserker, you can celebrate now. Berserker does not only reduce the enemy's defense, but also does amazing force strike damage, and force strike related buffs do usually not get killed. In the best case, another player will also bring a defense down ability, which helps Berserker do more crits thanks to his third ability, which increases the critical rate when attacking an enemy with reduced defense. Another sword unit I quickly want to mention, although I'm not too sure how viable she might be, is Leah. She's cute, doesn't rely on buffs, and can inflict burn, but depending on how much damage needs to be healed in the Jaldabaoth fight, this could become a risky ordeal. A sword unit I would love to have used is Crom, but his stacks get killed, making him completely useless for the fight. You can use your Navid though, since the buffs to his first skill do not get killed by Nihilist. The strength and defense buffs his S2 gives are gone though. And who would have thought, the Prince might probably be a good unit for this fight, since you can shapeshift with him more often if you play it well, he inflicts burn and reduces the enemy's defense. His first ability will probably get destroyed though. Now let's talk about plates. I'll definitely bring Nobunaga to the fight, since dispelling might be needed and she doesn't rely on any buffs to deal damage. Rena might be good to inflict burn, but her buffs are gone. Interestingly enough, continuing the trend of burning enablers, I think Aoi could also be used in this fight, but don't quote me on that. I just think she is a unit that relies on burning Punisher and she might shine here a bit. If you have Gala Lexi, well, her buffs do get killed by nihility. Her Fig does not though, and I think she still might be a pretty decent unit overall, even without the buffs. Remember that strength amps are on the rise, and she will definitely benefit from that too. Another unit is Azaleth, and you can use her, but I'm not talking about the normal version, but her Valentine's version. She is amazing burn enabler, and she can spam skills really well and does decent damage. You could also bring normal Azaleth, but her Inferno mode gets nullified, so she does lose out on some DPS. Fans of Melsa and Renal could also bring them, but as with all burn enablers, if you burn too much, they lose out DPS in the later stages of the fight if the fight goes on longer. Axe units in the flame element have it really good, since most of them are pretty good even without buffs. Rascal Renzel, for example, and that shouldn't come as a surprise, will be safe from nihility altogether. Halloween Mim could still be used as a defense down bot, but her S2 does get killed by the curse. She can still deal out good damage in dragon form and with her auto attacks, so she should be considered. Ramona's second skill is gone, but her first skill is still extremely strong if you can land those attacks. Interestingly enough, Yue's Wild Instinct is immune to the curse, and if Jaldabaoth can be stunned, Yue could even be helpful in that department. This also means, by the way, that you could bring Wild Instinct as a shared skill in the minion fights, just as a side note. Another axe unit that is loved by Cygames and is given immunity is Vanessa, who can use her full kit and also reduce the enemy's defense. Okay, let me just say that I'm not very happy about Panther's buffs getting killed. She still might be viable since her auto attacks are really strong and she helps with keeping up score trend, but man, that the buffs get killed sucks. Kimono Elisanne was probably built with Dominion in mind since her New Year's Prayer effect is absolutely safe. She might become one of the 2 go buff bots in the Dominion fight since she can give the whole team a 40% strength buff pretty much permanently. Gala will still be a very good pick for the fight, even though her draconic power ability does get annihilated by nihility. The Dragon Queen still reigns supreme. Someone I recently talked about in an analysis video is Zhang, and while you need to get lucky with her debuffs, I think she might actually be a useful unit in the upcoming fight too. Before we continue, I quickly want to mention that we're super close to 1 million subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe to be part of this epic journey and ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload a video. It hurts to say, but Chelsea will not be good in this fight. I hate you Cygames, I'm uninstalling. The same goes for Gala Leonidas, who deals more damage the more buffs she has, so I'm afraid she also won't really be useful in this fight. But hey, if you want to play a bow unit, you could bring Valentine's Azalith or Joe to the fight, if you want. If you got Seimei during New Year's, then you can and should bring him to the Dominion fight. His buffs are immune to the curse, making him fully viable in this fight. I also think that Incognito Nefaria might be a good pick, but she's difficult to play and energy mechanics don't work with Nihility at all. You could also bring Mega Man if you want. Student Maribel will be a useful unit thanks to the defense reduction, and I guess she also does some decent damage, so if you have her, I think she's viable. And well, remember way back when everyone used Xenia to clear High Midgar? I would say you could actually bring her back now to have someone inflict tons of burn on Jaldabaoth. Last but not least, let's talk about the healing choices. Yukata Cassandra and Kuzunoha both could be good since their overdamage ability is not affected by Nihility. It really depends on the damage Jaldabaoth does though, and if they can do enough healing to keep up with that. Valentine Hildegard will be a good pick since her shield is safe and she heals a good amount of damage. Her energy mechanics are out of the window, but I guess that's fine. She can also dispel buffs, which might come in handy, and she can reduce the enemy's strength. But let's be honest, the king might still be Halloween Lowen, whose HP buffs won't get affected by Nihility and who is really good at healing his team. Sure, the defense and strength buffs are gone, but he's still amazing at keeping the team alive, and with the shared over damage skill, he'll be really good. Oh, and if you wanna deal some damage while healing, Orion could be a choice thanks to the new worm print that increases staff skill damage. When it comes to which dragons to use, well, Mars is still an amazing dragon, even without the strength buff you get from his dragon skill. Other good picks might include Konohana Sakaya, Arctos, or possibly the upcoming Gala Agni, which we haven't seen yet at the time of me recording this. And well, that's it for this video. I hope it helped you a little bit, and if it did, leave a like and tell me in the comments below who you are going to bring to the Jaldabaoth fight. If you need people to play with when the fight comes out, join our Discord, the link is in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next video. Bye!